Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another POS Uncensored. And today we are talking all things point of sale support. We want to make sure that you understand how point of sale support is handled, how it's put together, how it varies from POS to POS. And we do that to make sure that you, as PayProtect partners, as payment professionals, are setting your merchants up in the best way to make sure that their expectations are met and their needs are served. And we're going to do that by bringing Mr. Matt Proctor on. Mr. Matt Proctor, the POS guru, the man, the head, the myth, the legend of POS pros. How are you, Mr. Matt Proctor? You're wearing an Indiana University jersey, not jersey, hoodie. And they are going to lose by 45 points on Saturday to my Wolverines. That's my prediction. I don't even know what the spread is, but I got to imagine it's 22.
The spread's probably in the 30s, so I'm sure.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. It was only 18 last week for the Minnesota, and we crushed that, so that was good. All right, but are you ready to talk POS support? I've got to imagine this is the thing that probably causes us the most headaches, but also just trying to manage expectations, because if everybody got what they wanted, we'd all love to have 24/7 support where you call and get a hold of a person right away. Great, that'll be $750 a month per station. But we've got to actually make it so it's reasonable so that everybody can make some money. What are the different ways that POS companies, how they're doing their timing? What are the different ways that our POS companies, we'll get eventually down to specifics, but how do they handle support in different ways, including their timing, like 24/7, those kind of things, because we talk about the timing of support.
Yep. And we discuss this all the time. And for any of you that are listening that sold any POS systems through the POS Pros office, we discuss this at length at the end of our demos and what kind of those next steps are, because it's all about setting the right expectations. And it's that extra comfort level of having our office involved as well. Because I can tell you right now, all of our restaurant systems are 24/7 support. That's extremely important in a restaurant environment, because at midnight on a Friday or Saturday night, if suddenly the system goes down, there's issues, they're still closing out the bar, they need to be able to call and get in touch with someone. Most of our systems also have different support emails as well that they can quickly log in and will respond to the support that way. Some of our other systems, maybe some of our retail systems, they do have more limited hours based on the retail environment, because a retail clothing store is not open till midnight on a Friday or Saturday. So it really, depends on the system and how that's laid out, and that's where my team comes in to help facilitate that with the agent and the merchant to make sure everyone's on the same page on who to contact.
So let's
So,
talk.
but
I mean,
well, sorry, Nate. We also talk obviously about timing. That's what you asked
yeah.
about the time frame of how long it's going to take to get set up, how long the training's going to be, when the installation's going to be. You know, we definitely go through that timing in that first month of every little thing that's going to happen. That way, they're on the same page. Because to be honest, that causes me less stress later on. Because ultimately, they're going to come to me if they have any major issues. So we try to set the expectations correctly from the beginning.
Well, let's talk specifically about triaging support, and that means how do our partners actually help set the expectation, maybe even fix some things, help them find the best way, you know, to identify what the real issue is and how the best way to contact. What are the best ways, Matt, that our partners can triage to make sure that if they're working with Retail Cloud or Hot Sauce or Paradise or Corona, that they're helping get that support for their merchants the fastest way by setting expectations, by helping them, you know, use the system in the best way?
Yep. Honestly, the best way is just for the agent to be involved. That's it. It doesn't mean when I say involved, that doesn't mean they need to know how to program the point of sale system, all right, or know how to add new buttons and things like that. The software is going to go through that training with the merchant. But the more the agent's involved from the very beginning, even if the agent wants to be the main contact, we can do that with several of our systems. Where that way, Hot Sauce is reaching out to you as the agent and scheduling out what times because you know that merchant, you know, really well, and you know that they're going to need some help, and you're going to be there to be able to assist them, whether it's just as simple as plugging in a printer or actually making sure they're on for the training. So that's where we have the most success when we talk about triaging POS support is when an agent is heavily involved. If you're not involved at all, that's fine. You can do that as well. You just want to sell it and move on to somewhere else. But unfortunately, those can have a little higher close percentage if they're not getting the support and they feel like they don't have any agent support at all, and they're just constantly having to reach out to the POS company. Or there are times where we can't get in touch with the merchant. Maybe the merchant only wants to talk to you as the agent. So we need you to step up and get involved. So my team does a great job of that too, because we get to know these merchants. So maybe they want to talk to Caitlin. So they reach out to Caitlin from my team or Tim or Alex, and then they're jumping in and assisting. So we're kind of here's that third party support on top of the support from the point of sales team. And then if something goes wrong,
kind of using my next question or comment was how to best use the POS Pros, which is kind of what you started that process. But let's talk about best practices. We are giving options and we help partners do it however they want to. But those who are most successful in POS and in helping their merchants get the support they need the fastest, how do you see that happening between their use of reaching out to the directly to the POS, reaching out to you? How does that work the best? And they can choose to do it a different way if that works in their system. But what do you think is the best way?
Yeah, great question. The best way is to work directly with the point of sale company, period. And the reason for that is they have access to their full system. They can log in remotely. They can add buttons. They can change things. They can go through full trainings with them. My team will never have access to their actual software. So yes, they can reach out, and we have some agents that they think that's the only way, and they just reach out to us. But sometimes that can slow down the process. And then my team's going to say, well, they need to reach out to Quick or to Mint or to Corona or whoever it might be. So the smartest and most effective way for support is once that deal is closed and we've sold that deal and that it's been processed, they're working directly and very closely with the point of sale company. If there's an issue, or let's say we can't get in touch with our person from Mint, we're trying to get, then 100% you can get us involved and we can escalate it. We can take it straight to ownership if we need to. But we're more as that extra support. We can't log into the merchant's software.
So what I'm hearing you say is one of the best ways to do it is to reach out directly to the POS. And if they don't get a resolution right away, if it doesn't jump in right away, then a good thing is to reach out to the POS Pros, because you guys can kind of come around, help support, see if you can elbow and see if you can get things moving a little quicker. You know how things have worked because you've done dozens, if not hundreds of some of the, depending on which POS, you know how it works. And use your step 2. POS direct support is step 1, correct?
Correct, correct.
Yep.
Absolutely. Lean on us when all else fails and you're having any issue with support. That's when you get us involved. That's why I can reach out to any one of these owners. They're all friends of mine that we've worked with. There's a reason why we brought these softwares on, and I can escalate anything at any given time. And so that's where I step in.
Perfect. All right, we're going to go through several different types of support. Let's start first with, do any of our systems use chat support? When you're reaching out to POS companies, what's the best way to reach out to them? Do any of our companies use chat support? And if they do, how does that work within the system?
Currently, Retail Cloud is really our main system that uses chat, and people absolutely love it because they have a chat box on multiple screens for their staff as they're ringing people up. So if it's something simple, I can't find this report, or I need to take this item off, or I need to add something, they can quickly type in the chat, and there's a live person responding to that right away. It's not a bot. So chat's not as common, with a lot of systems. It definitely not with restaurant systems because they can be a little more complex, more than just a chat. But in retail environment, we found that works really well because usually it's just a simple, easy question, and they can get a quick answer. And then if it does need to be escalated, they can remote in and reach out via phone to help. So,
Right.
but yeah, chat's a good feature.
Next up is who offers email support, and how does that function? And because only one chat, are there more using email support, and I'll even add into that more of a ticketing system type support that maybe that's being managed through email? How are some of our POS systems using that?
That is actually a preferred way to communicate for several of our systems. Just on the top of my head, hot sauce is one of the first. Hot sauce, mint, and quick. They all do a great job with email support because they got a whole team that's sitting there. And so when you email support@hotsaucepos.com, that goes to boom, their entire team. And I've had great feedback from agents that say within 5-10 minutes, I got someone boom logging into my system helping me, with that. Where sometimes it's not as easy to get a hold of someone on the phone. But if you could put in an email, even if they're busy, maybe even if they're on the phone with someone else, they can go in and still support them and remotely give them an answer or help them with the software. So as of right now, all of our systems have an email and have a support email. So that is a good way to contact them. And then some are better than others as far as phone, which I know we'll talk about that. But we recommend emailing quite often because you'll just get a quicker response. So they're all busy. I mean,
Yeah.
we're limited to what their staffing levels are. And after the pandemic, it's not easy. POS companies suffered just like a lot of businesses. So we try to find the best ways to support our merchants.
Well, and as we record this live, I'll bring up, wow, that's really big. That's much bigger than I usually have. Let's shrink that down.
Yeah.
They
Hey,
made some
Doug.
changes, but Doug,
Hey,
thank you for joining
Mama
us.
Helm.
Yep. And Vicky Helm, I never dreamed of reaching out to the POS pros for support. It's always me first. And if I can't fix it, I'll reach out to the POS provider and some emojis. I love how Vicky Helm is handling that. And it's the right way.
Yep.
We're here to help, but it's about being proactive and actually working with making sure they know how to get their support fastest. And people think, I think it's probably old, I don't want to say older, but a lot of people still think, as we talk about here, that phone support is yes, there are times in emergencies your whole system goes down, but the problem is if something's going down and it's an emergency and maybe it's affecting more than one person, the phone may not be the best thing because the phone lines, setting up that expectation,
Absolutely.
phone support is tough to handle and tough to manage. So Matt, how do because they handle it differently. Some have callback systems, some have direct,
Right.
you're sitting on hold. Talk about how they handle it and when would you use phone support?
Well, and each one is a little different. And like you said, Nate, this is important, especially in the F&B space. Being able to get something fixed right away. We do have some that you have to leave a voicemail, and I tell people all the time, like, please leave a voicemail. If you call and you can't get through to someone and you don't leave a voicemail, you're not getting a call back. They don't know who you are, what the problem is, anything. And one of our main callbacks is hot sauce, which is why a lot of our merchants prefer to email because they get a quicker response usually through email. I can tell you Paradise is one of our best with the phone support. They do answer every single time, and they do have a great call queue where they can get a tech support usually on right away. Quick is just like that. They do a good job of phone support. You're getting someone on the phone, and each of our systems have designated account reps that work with each of our accounts. And those are things that we can actually see and pull up, on our side. So if it is, a person with hot sauce, we can reach out and make sure that person is connected. So Mint does the same thing. Mint has their implementation team, and one person for the implementation team might be assigned to 5 of our Mint merchants. Another one might be assigned to 10 of these. And then they know exactly who their point of contact is. So when we talk about phone support, that helps too, because they'll have the direct extension for who's been working with them on their account. So if they've been working with Edward for Mint on everything, well, we're going to make sure they've got Edward's contact information and number, so they don't have just to call in the regular line and talk to someone who doesn't know their account. So that's another added benefit of our program that we have worked out with our POS providers. But still, I think email is the smarter way to go.
Well, I think we've learned a lot. One, email, number one. Chat support, if you're working with Retail Cloud, they are offered that. Number two, be an involved partner, get involved, triage, make sure everything is understood, and then reach out, and however is best for that merchant, to reach out to the POS company direct. If you need support after that, you're getting, you need somebody just to kind of elbow or give some advice, reach out to the POS pros, but you're looking to go faster. And render phone support, you make sure you know how they work with it, each system, and actually leave voicemails when they're supposed to. If you're with hot sauce, make sure you're actually getting the callback system that's working, versus knowing how each one works, versus it's a call queue where you may be on hold for a while. Understanding that. What are things we're missing on support, Matt? As of closing words, POS support, what are things you want to highlight to our partners?
I am so glad that that Vicky chimed in here, because what she said is really, really important. If you're involved and you actually are there, you are supporting your merchant. A, not only that they're not going to leave you, but B, you're going to get to know the POS company as well. And so Vicky knows the names of the people over at Paradise. Okay, she's getting to know the names of any system that we work with. And so she gets even elevated and better support, because they know Vicky and they know she's going to be there on site, and they know she's there to help them. So when the POS company starts to get to know you, and okay, I know Alexandra's here and she's always there with the merchant, she's helping. So our Mint guys know they can reach out to her and she's going to assist with the support. So it just helps the whole process. The more you're involved, the more you get to know the point of sale company and all their people that work there. And they're going to see it come through and say, oh, it's another one from Vicky. All right, let's reach out to Vicky and make sure we get this all set up correctly. So it just gets better and better support the more you're involved. Just keep that in mind.
Love it. Hey, that understanding and being a way to really the advocate and the champion for your merchant is the way to help business last for a long time. And let's be real. This is how business works. People like working with people that are nice and kind and respectful to them, even when chaos is going on. And if you've been and watched any of our other content around, and you've heard Brian Linky's rules for life, rule number one is don't panic. And when you set that expectation for POS, yes, your merchant is going to be stressed because they're worried something's not working. But if you can come alongside and triage and help and make sure you know how those systems are working, you're going to have a person that is processing with you for a long time. And that makes us all money. It's all about how this works together and understanding how support works, because the fact is these POS companies aren't getting rich. We keep driving them down and saying, hey, they're not. They're doing great job. But if they put money into support of the support we wish we all had, we couldn't afford it. Our merchants couldn't afford it. So we need to learn and work together, and we're going to make this work, because all of us want the same thing: a merchant who is happy in his processing. The POS company wants it. POS Pros wants it. PayProtect wants it. You want it. And so let's work together and make sure all that happens. Matt, I think this is an important topic for us to cover, kind of a broad overview. Any last closing words?
No. I mean, I think we covered a whole bunch. I mean, lean on us, obviously, for any additional support. And I'll make sure I do my job, and any system that we bring on, we will make sure we're testing it and making sure support is great before we will put our name behind it.
Well, this has been another
All we can do.
episode. Yep. This has been another episode of POS Uncensored. Make sure you like and subscribe and click that bell right here on our YouTube channel at My Papertech YouTube channel. Thank you so much for those who watch live. And those who have watched live and have YouTube app on their phone, and I got the alert. I look over here and there's an alert on my phone that we're live, and I could know that. That's a great way for us to get, because especially over the next couple of weeks as our schedules, it's not, if you want to catch us live, most of you watch afterwards anyways, but we would love it. We love it when people jump in. We love people in chat. And thank you to Vicky and Doug who actually jumped in the chat live. And we'll see you. I'm not exactly sure because Matt and I will talk about that after we get off here.
Yeah.
But we'll see you next time on POS Uncensored as our schedule gets a little busy over the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys very much. Cheers and have a great one.